Hi beautiful mamas, and welcome to Sunday Readings Just for Moms, where we look for messages that will support us through the week. And today I've picked 3 rune cards. All the names and authors of the cards are down in the description box, and I will also put the timestamp down there while I'm figuring out how to do it more efficiently. You'll find the times of your pals down there. The first card we have is the Rune of Possession, so number 11. The second card is the Rune of Signals, which is the number 3. And the third pile is number 25. It's the last card, the Unknowable. So see which one of these resonates with you. There may be more than one. And go with what feels right. If you start listening to a pile and it doesn't sound like it's for you, then move on to another one. Or if you feel like more than one, then go with that. It's really just a conversation, a collective conversation to open up and see if anything resonates with you. So I will see you in your readings. Hi Pal Mom, Pal Mom. Hi Pal One Moms. And if you chose the Rune of Possession, we can have a deeper look at this card. And there's the honeycomb and coins and beautiful, it looks like it's a mother of pearl, like buttons and ancient rock drawings. And seeds, dried seeds. So this is a card that speaks to nourishment. It speaks to the inflow and the outflow of nourishment and fulfillment and satisfaction in our life. It speaks to being aware, and this is an ever unfolding awareness within us, but to be aware of the quality of what you give out and what you are receiving, and to notice that in an outflow and what satisfies you, what has stopped satisfying you, and how this energy is guiding you. If you're feeling depleted in some areas, being able to bring attention to what nourishment I need. Do I need nourishment on a physical level? Do I need to do something fun? Do I need to do something just for me? Do I need to be with my mates and, a bit frivolous? Do I need some quiet time and some rest? Or do I need to just be left alone to faff? It's the connection with what nourishes me. Am I giving more than I'm taking, or taking more than I'm giving? For some, have I, if this were in a reverse, which it didn't come out as reverse, but for some it speaks to no matter how hard I'm trying, I'm not getting back, the reward or the feedback or the satisfaction. And yeah, so this is all about, I suppose, connecting, or perhaps bringing a new awareness to the richness of you. And if that is feeling very skimp at the moment, where it's feeling very elusive at the moment, where even if you ask yourself, what do I need or what do I want, been met with a bit of a dispassionate, I don't know, or I don't feel like anything. Or on the other side, having reached a space in your time where maybe you have a little bit more freedom and you feel that you can return to nourishing yourself in new ways. And making sure that you consider nourishment on all levels, you know, what we are consuming, whether it's food, whether it's what we're watching, or the company we keep, the environment we find ourselves in. But even more fascinatingly, for me at least, in watching what you give out, you know, and perhaps allowing this to gain like a richness. You know, a lot of what we give out we either assume is expected, or it's so natural in us that we can't actually see the real quality of the nourishment we give. So the standard of the nourishment we receive may be out of balance, or we may be nourishing ourselves on one level but very disconnected from nourishing ourselves on another level. There's also a feeling of you know, sort of bringing yourself into balance. So let's see, what else with the angel? Oh, I'm going to take all three of these and have a look. Okay. These are beautiful oracle cards that are speaking to the ending of a cycle. So whether this is a cycle of freedom within your responsibilities, or whether this is a change of perception of self, or whether it's, you know, even biological, where you're either going through a hormone change or a body change, you know, even a change of how you give and receive, of the options to nourish yourself, you know. And it feels like there isn't necessarily 100% clarity whether you're having a look at a sense of your own value or the energy that you bring, or whether you are, it's about a life decision, an actual change that you're making that may allow nourishment and possessions to change. And because this came upright, it's speaking favorably to an inflow of more nourishment. But there's two messages here of saying you may not know the exact details of what is changing. You may not know or understand a shift that is going on with absolute clarity, because there's the message of both have faith, because there's something really positive on the horizon, and then there's the message of no, the conditions aren't right. And then that it's safe to be in your power. So perhaps if we go with the idea of nourishment, of increasing receiving in our life on all levels or any level, it feels like there's a message here to say you can give in to this, and you can imagine and expand and explore and dream and wish without necessarily knowing what the concrete possibilities will be, because it feels like there's still a sense of perhaps the automatic answer that I would normally go to is, well, this is saying that it's limited, and so it's a more expansive bigger idea of receiving, of nourishment, of understanding the value of your place and your energy in this world, which may be beyond, you know, the measurements that you're given in terms of, I'm a good person because I speak kindly, I'm forgiving, or what have you. But noticing more the space of your unique energy that you give, and being aware to an opportunity of, it feels like an inflow of nourishment, an inflow of like receiving, of accomplishing a goal or a change. And this is very much, the Athena card is resonating with the, or speaking to having perhaps a new perspective on your sense of value. And sense of value not necessarily based on what you do or how you think or how you behave, but it's more expansive, may even be some new ways of looking at yourself, or new perspectives, or looking at yourself in a more archetypal way of, you know, and this is an example, you know, your ability to diffuse a conversation, or your ability to, you know, see the positivity, or how your thoughtfulness communicates to others. And so this is a message to say it's safe to be in your power. It's safe to trust you and the isness of you as it comes out. For those of you who may have experienced, there are times, I suppose, in our growth where we realize that we've been giving our value away for free because we couldn't quite understand how valuable it was, or helping people when they weren't asking, or feeling obligation that we didn't need to, but we were following a social program of what it means to be good or beautiful or kind or powerful. And this is a message saying that this is so the flavor of you, and that you can trust it. And don't worry if you don't have the nuts and bolts on it, but ask, and maybe that's a way of nourishing yourself, is to actually sit or take a walk and be a little bit quieter with yourself and say, you know, if you don't have a strong belief in, you know, higher powers, you can just put it out there and say, you know, where am I? Which journey am I on? What's going on here? What do I need to know right now? How can you help me? You know? So let's see if there's any more clarity here. And I'm tasting like fruit juice, which is something I've always drunk quite sparingly because it's felt like a very enriched, concentrated, even though we have an abundance of fruit juice in Africa. It's something that seems very luxurious in its flavor, you know. It's packed with sugars and nutrients and stuff. So it's kind of that ripe, sweet nourishment, you know. There's nothing better for those who like fruit juice than like ice cold fruit juice on a hot day or after a meal for something sweet. It's nice kind of nourishment and very beautiful colors. So let's see, may we have a little bit more information or messages for pile number 1, for, you know, energies of love that support them in their beautiful selves, you know. So that feels like number 1. Nice. I feel guided to take number 2. I mean the bottom and the top for number 3. Okay, so I'm sure there are many more traditional tarot readers out there. I don't necessarily read it in a very traditional way. It's more channeled or intuitive reading. But you are so welcome to add your insights that you see in the cards in the comments below, because it's It's beautiful to have lots of different perspective. So while these cards over here might have had the feeling of weight, it's not necessarily a weight because you are excluded from this information and you're on a need-to-know basis, as much as it is a watch. It's unfolding. And this card feels like, and don't worry, it comes in quite swiftly, it comes in quite quickly. However, both these cards here speak to a pause and give a think. And the message that I'm getting here is the think that you're having is about you, is about your uniqueness, is very specific to who you are now, because things may have changed, and that realization of self definitely grows and develops a lot, and sometimes without us really checking in and catching up with ourselves. So this is more a message of, the default is, or what you've done before, or what you think the answer, the way forward is, feels limited, too limited for this energy, and that it's a bigger expression. And the reason why it's a bigger expression is because it's not cookie cut. It's quite specific to you. And, the awareness here in terms of the flow of nourishment, of the give and take, that we allow to flow through us and that we become aware of, there may be aspects that you can let go of. It feels like there's something that you can release here that's outdated, that served its purpose, but it's safe now to almost be like full ball you, or to bring this energy out a lot stronger. And, the message is about a new beginning. And it's interesting because when we speak of Ariel, or we speak of the Pentacles over, it's also about possessions. It's about a grounded experience that you can taste, touch, feel, see, and the invitation is to receive the nourishments, not only in the visible, not only in the tangible, but to open yourself up to receive. It feels like, this more enriched experience of yourself, or this more enriched perception of yourself. And so it's beautiful in the sense that it's saying that there's something in the receiving and the giving, or the way you value, or what you've been able to see about yourself coming into a new light. And that it might be a swift realization or an epiphany, or it might be something that just gently whispers to you in the morning that says, things are different now. But maybe we can get just one more card in closing to see which center of ourself we can connect into or focus into, if that's something that you like to do in your meditation. And it's your sacral chakra. So this is also very much, that's our second chakra, and it is about our creating. It's about our relationships, friendships, marriages. It's our one-on-one relationships, but it's very much our creative energy, our life force energy, our ability to manifest, and not to have any judgment on wanting or needing more material possessions, but making sure that there's balance there, in that we are not only focusing on the material possessions or on what we can consume, but that we have a broader perspective of, our softer needs, our mental needs, our spiritual needs, our emotional needs, as well as like our physical needs and experiences. But there is a really beautiful energy. It's almost like a blossoming of another deeper layer of you that feels richer, expanded. Okay, so I think that's our messages for Pile 1 for this week. I'm wishing you an absolutely beautiful week, and I post on Tuesdays and Thursdays the mother and child readings, where we look at situations or elements in your relationship between you and one of your children. So look out for those. Like and subscribe if you'd like it to just pop up for you, and feel free to comment on what resonated with you or topics that you'd like us to explore. But until next time, have a beautiful week, mamas. Hi, beautiful mamas who chose Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. And let's see what your messages are for today. This is the card of the rune of signals. And this card's got the energy that's coming up very strongly for me is this receiving energy. I don't know if any of you have read The Alchemist, the Paulo Coelho book, which speaks very much about how the universe is conspiring with us to fulfill our desires. And it's that energy of, it's sort of very much a message of pay attention to the symbols and the signals, or the story that the universe is telling you through what seems like coincidences or unexpected meetings or chance connections. It's giving me such a beautiful feeling of like almost, like when you're going to watch a nice movie or something unfolding, but it's got a beautiful positive energy to it. The number 3 is also that creation energy, and I can just feel like this inflow and this receiving. But it's not just between like me and my prayer. It feels like the outside world is playing along too, and a part of this conversation with you. I suppose an element of caution here is not to scrutinize and what does this mean, and I've seen that, and we don't have to overanalyze this very beautiful symbolic communication or language that the world has with us. But to, like you would watch a movie or a series unfold, to have more that lens and to watch what's unfolding and to notice what's receiving, and to notice, I suppose, the unplanned parts of the day, and whatever language resonates with you, whatever your symbolic language is, it feels fun. It's making me smile and be like, oh yay. For those of you who might have gone through a period of feeling a bit isolated, or like the universe isn't giving you any feedback or signals or signs, this may feel like a breath of fresh air that you have permission to kind of loosen up and feel, and feel a part of a bigger picture, or that, the bigger pictures with you on it. So let's see, it feels like that one wants to come out too. Oh, lovely. There's such a nice energy with this reading. And which ones? There's 2 coming out here, but let's just take one. And I'm sure any message that needs to come through will find a way. So, okay, first we've got like some just our angel oracle cards, our messages, which are also speaking to perhaps signs and signals within this card reading, but it's speaking to this beautiful inflow. This is the card, the angel of abundance, and you know, the sort of message here is don't micromanage abundance, and we're speaking of abundance on every level, not just our wealth or possessions. We're speaking about abundance in terms of vitality and energy and satisfaction, inspiration and ideas, spare time, nice balance between rest and work, and, you know, some leisure. But this is saying like there's a incredibly supportive energy here on all levels. So allow that without feeling that you've got to sort of manually do it. So if you have been working with affirmations, maybe allowing the affirmation, I'm not saying stop or do more or anything like that, but allowing the affirmation to you know, manifest in your life, where you start noticing that it might be one of the words that I use is popping out all over the place, or it might be the actual materialization of something that I've been asking for. But there's definitely a beautiful, like, collaborative feeling of energy here, because it's saying the abundance is here, and it is, you know, it's the bigger picture. God, for those of you who that word resonates with, you know, but you know, the divine, you know, the all together. I'm just feeling like such a whole, connected kind of a feeling. When we are awakened to and aware of the signs and synchronicities, and what we are asking, whether we're asking it through affirmation or prayer, or we speak to our angels, or good luck, whichever method you use, there's a beautiful message here of saying that we've heard you and you've been led. And so look out, listen, because you are being communicated with. The universe has got your back here, and it also once again feels like this very, like, there's happiness from the beings around you. Oops, as I said the word happiness, our load shedding came in. We're on allocated times of electricity here in South Africa, but that's okay. Hopefully we can still see just as well. But yes, so it's also nice and quiet as the electricity goes out here. Then there's another message of taking good care of yourself. And not that you need to put this on a to-do list, unless that's something you love doing. Then absolutely go for your treatments and eat the food that you know that resonates with you, or, you know, move your body the way you do. Underlying this, though, is the message of it is when we are in a space of peace and relaxation, what our intuition, dreams, thoughts, the universe is communicating to us is well received, received with ease, more apparent, comes through quite a lot clearer, because there isn't the dualistic voice of, you know, but is it, isn't it, scrutinizing. What a beautiful, beautiful feeling this reading has. Can we have any more messages for, or some more messages for pile 2 with their week ahead, and this wonderful feeling of energy incoming and receiving. being led. Oh. Alright. Seemed like a card wanted to pop out there, but then let's see. Right. Alright. Leap of faith. Oh man, going with like abundance. Dream bigger. Allow that playful, innocence in its wisdom is really when we allow ourselves to imagine bigger and better. So when we say our affirmations and we add at the end, or better, I am receiving this, or I ask for this, or better. And this energy's got that, like, be in the or better space, kind of encouraging you to, on one level, be optimistic, maybe. But on another level, to, in this peace and relaxation, perhaps just open to even entertaining a better idea, even if we can't ground it exactly, but allowing like the space and the energy, because the receiving may actually be an upliftment, a restoration, it doesn't necessarily have to be tangible. But let's see, where are we? Yay. Yay, yay, yay. So yeah, with the leap of faith, a new beginning, it's believe in yourself, listen to your heart, open up to what gives you joy, and yeah, contemplate beyond what your mind will say is possible, and ask the day, ask the universe for feedback, to connect with you, to be in conversation with you, to guide you, because perhaps there may have been past experiences that stopped that, or maybe punished that way of thinking, for being naive, for being trusting. So yeah, it almost feels like start from the place of like relaxation. If you start your day even just with a stretch and a hello, how are you, and a nice breath in, just to acknowledge that connection that will be available to you through the day. Within the receiving, it feels like there's also a healing around past experiences that may have stopped you from being in this space of praying and asking, or whichever rituals you follow, which may have stopped you seeing your dream as significant, or even looking for any more signs. And there's the Four of Gabriel. So another abundance card, a reason to celebrate, and a time to breathe out. This feels like a card of closure, where there may even be the possibility of understanding why things turned out in the past as they did, and the healing around that. It was significant for that experience or for that learning, but it's not necessarily a truth that I need to carry throughout my life. I love the way both these cards are encouraging you to release and to relax, and to allow the burdens and situations that may have been playing on your mind or weighing you down, and the possibility, entertain an idea of it being not burdensome anymore, of you not needing to be on call 24/7, or the resolver of the situation. Feels like this is for me, not me personally, but the me in you, where this is not about necessarily anything that you're doing or not doing or a direct reward or anything like that. It just feels like a beautiful, loving, supportive energy for you to say that we are with you, you are supported, you're loved. Allow yourself to release some of the tension and the tight and the holding and the fixing, if that is there. Allow yourself to release the past experiences, because there's a new start here. There's a new beginning that allows for more joy, that allows for more possessions even, that allows for more abundance and allows for more celebration. And you are beautifully supported. So I really hope, mamas, that this is a week where you feel that the wind's on your back, and the universe has got you, and that you feel loved and supported through the week. But also that for those of you who are coming out of a hard time, that you're able to sort of do the transition from into the space of allowing more for you and feeling that you are supported, and allowing life to show you how it is with you and for you. That actually feels like the message is complete. So pile number 2, moms, I hope that something resonated here with you, and of course I'm wishing you a gorgeous week. I post on Tuesdays and Thursdays the mother and child readings, where we look at situations or relationships between you and a child of yours. So look out for that. You can always like and subscribe to get notifications. But otherwise, just wishing you a gorgeous week. Till next time. Hi, beautiful moms, for pile 3. If you selected the rune The Unknowable, then welcome to your reading. While I was doing the reading, our load shedding came in, which means our electricity is switched off. So I hope that this doesn't affect your visibility. I think we can still see quite well. Okay, so your reading for today. The strongest feeling, as I looked at this card, I felt myself sort of sit up straight and take a deep breath in, and not from a place of fear, but from a place which feels almost like a queen position, or like a sovereign position, where it's not an emotional space of right or wrong, but it's like a clarity, a quality of listening, rather than knowing and being on track. It's not a space of weakness, but a strong sense of observing, of taking note. There's nothing to control. This is also known as the blank rune, which in this space, it's the end and it's the beginning. It's and neither nor. In this space, we can face our deepest fears may come up, as well as like our highest potential. It's really beautiful, open space that is not so absence of control. And I think it's actually the message that this bears, is that we don't have, or you can't have, or it's just not the place where you can't control blank. You can't control the unknowable. And so there's kind of like this curious awareness, this opening kind of feeling of saying, I'm also getting the feeling of, you know, that the self-change, for those of you who have been working on or maybe doing a lot of shadow work or introspection, it feels like a validation of growth, and almost that the beautiful purpose of this blankness is for to be free of measurement. So any element of your life that you've been working on changing, or that you've grown within, whether it was forced or whether it was, you know, self-selected, it feels like there's almost like a beautiful judgment-free opportunity for feedback so that you can see this growth. Well, let's get some more cards. See what this message is bringing today, because there's something beautiful about blank. It's kind of saying that the canvas is open, but there's also something daunting about blank. It's like, well, there's no direction. I don't know what to do. So let's see. I'm feeling this guy coming through. Okay. So there's some nice messages from the angels here. So Archangel Michael, and with the messengers in their personality, as they are often depicted in cards and belief systems, don't necessarily resonate with you. Feel in for the message, so that the message for you is received. So Archangel Michael is a very protective archangel, and it's interesting that there's two messages here telling you that you're protected, telling you that it's safe. So that's when we're saying earlier, like, you know, the blank of the unknown can feel intimidating or evoke fear, or even get our dualistic mind scrambling to at least fill the space with something so that it doesn't feel so unnerving, you know. But yet the other 99% of our mind is actually wired for and completely at peace in exploration and contemplating and watching something unfold. And, you know, it doesn't mind watching a long movie. It doesn't need an instant answer. So in this time of the unknowable, the space between kind of something ending and something beginning, know that you're very protected. And so this kind of says you can relax and enjoy the space. You don't have to have the sort of adrenaline on guard, you know, or your triggers on guard, because you can't explain where you're at, because you don't have an action plan, where, yeah, can sometimes even feel a little bit irresponsible. But that's not what the message is saying at all. The message is saying the opposite. You're protected. It's safe. And it's a good time to allow new ideas. So ideas that you mightn't have entertained before, or that you haven't entertained for a long time. And this card also has a message of saying we're protecting you during this change. So if for some of you have come through, I want to almost say like you fought to be in this space of blank. That perhaps what you've left behind took a lot out of you, was hard on you, or made you feel very vulnerable, or needing to stay in control and alert. And so there's lots of reassurance so this is a message of courage. Archangel Michael's bringing you the courage to make the life changes that you need to change. And all these cards are saying here is that it's a good time for new ideas. It's a good time to kind of reimagine yourself, or in the blankness over here, it is safe to imagine an idea that hasn't actually been possible before. And it feels almost like there's this protective space, like you're being cocooned. You know, there's this protective energy around you that is allowing you to, for those of you who need to catch your breath and maybe soothe your nervous system a little bit into the calm, because if it was on high alert, you know, so there's very reassuring messages that there's new possibility, that you can think not only that you're protected now, but you can think of the next step as a very protective step, not necessarily defensive, but, you know, not in need of defense. And you've been encouraged here to make the changes. It feels also like a confirmation that the changes that you are wanting to make, or the new ideas that you're wanting to bring through, even if you haven't come from a hard time, even if the anxiety is just that you're in a new space, you know, there is courage. And for those of you who Archangel Michael or the angels do resonate with you, or whomever resonates with you in terms of an internal conversation, you might want to do it through writing or through prayer or just through a chat, where you actually engage the energy of courage and say, you know, what do you feel like in my body? If I've just got courage in my body, what does it feel like? You know, what does this new idea, even if I don't have the details, what does it feel like inside of me? Or how do I want it to feel inside of me? But whether it's coming from a difficult time, or whether you're coming from just a different time, there's something about moving into a step that is much more aligned with you on every level, you know. Resist using the word life purpose as if we all have one definitive fatalistic job we need to do here. Sorry if that's a bit of a crass interpretation of it, but I did that intentionally so that we don't connect with the word our life purpose in a worldly kind of a way, and we feel more into the deeper layers of who we are, the uniqueness of us. And also, in a sense, like life purpose can feel like it's definitive, or something that you can get wrong, or one thing, you know. At this stage of your life purpose may be very different to what it will be in 3 years' time or in 30 years' time. So it's not that when we connect with, you know, the greater unconditional love in whichever way that we do, that we are hunting for an answer that we need to get right, or that's fixed. But it's more that we are connecting with a deeper level of ourselves that is evolved and grown and more mature now. Or the situation is just saying, like, now's a good time for that level of you to come out. If there is an anxiety there, that's totally normal with something new. However, anxiety also calls for the courage, because anxiety can make us look backward. And sometimes in that, like, looking backward, we kind of limit the ideas that can come forward. Let's see if there's some more messages around this, but it's an ever such a it's like a blanket's been wrapped around me kind of a feeling, you know, safe and comfortable and warm. And feeling that way inside around a new idea is courage itself. And what's very exciting is the uniqueness of how that resonates with you. Right, let's see which cards. That one feels good. Oh, yay. love and blessings fill your life, harmonious relationships with family members, happily ever after. That's gorgeous. I like that because it's excessive joy. It's also, you know, to the unknowable. It's allowing yourself to have the courage to think bigger, you know, and to ask perhaps for levels of happiness and blessings and harmonies and friendships and stuff in your life that has been unknown to you before, you know. Such a beautiful card. I'm definitely, with all the green, feeling that heart space today. And you know, even deeper than the ability to have this experience of love and blessings fill in your life, there's also kind of a feeling of that you can feel the love and blessing of yourself. I know in the first reading we're speaking to, you know, the inflow and the outflow, and it's often as we go along in our life and we reflect on the quality of what we outflow, give out into the world, not based on measurements, you know, traditional measurements, but we start seeing more the essence of us and the uniqueness of us, and the things that come with ease and the things that are so natural to us that we haven't actually even noticed before. And then we realize, oh my gosh, that's actually pretty beautiful that I do that. Oh wow, all these times I've questioned my generosity because, you know, I'm not necessarily able to be generous on a materialistic way, but now I'm seeing the generosity of my spirit, you know, the generosity of my positivity or my forgiveness or my attention to the beautiful or my attention to someone, you know. So much beauty to be felt about yourself, you know, the love and blessing that you are. And we're in a blank space here, so allow that to be on a new level. There's no one in this space with you to tell you that you can't, and why not, you know. In your freedom you do actually have that I can't find the word. It's like that you can take that creative liberty. Okay, and then we've got the moon, which, although both these cards here are speaking to, well, the Five of Gabriel over here, which is the Five of Wands, it's sort of saying that things that are seen as like issues also in this like blank space, where we're not necessarily attaching or fixing things to right and wrong or old and new, but it's a more open space of exploration of ourselves. There seems to be a message here of, in the blankness, even take it on like a sound or on a relationship level, where you actually have permission to step back into a bit of peace, to step back from the noise or the drama or the politics of others. It's not a complete isolation or hermitage at all, but it feels like the space this week inside of you is for you, and it's to consider new ideas that you'd like to bring in. It's to feel safe, to, you know, think about you, give some time to you, and that the other issues can actually be resolved with you taking this time out. It will give you an opportunity to see clearer. So I'm not saying like go AWOL unless you have the option to retreat and go away from your life, then fantastic. But if that is not the scenario of your life unfolding this week, it's kind of saying, like, make space to be aware of it. You don't have to defend anything else that is coming at you at all, but just include the space, because it will give not only the space for new ideas to kind of hatch or give birth or come in, it connects you in, because it's not ideas that are coming in as you ordered them 3 years ago or anything like that. It feels like a deeper connection in the creative process, where you can say, yes, I'm liking that, but I wonder what that would be like, or I'd like a little bit more that way, or actually what I'm realizing is I do love this new idea and I do feel courageous about it, but I want to change it slightly. Now that I've spent some time alone, I've realized that I don't want to necessarily work in a big group again, or I don't want to work you know, on those kinds of projects. And it's just giving or connecting you with, I suppose, more succinct information about you in this time and space. It's also speaking to, you know, in the blank, our deep fears as well as our biggest dreams can come out. And being aware that when those fears are coming up, that you connect in with this protective energy, and you can even ask, you can even say, you know, take it off me for a bit. Let me have like freedom from it for a bit. So that within that, you're also learning on how you can manage your energy, and how you can park something until you feel that it's the right time for you to acknowledge it or to work with it. But this is also saying that there's, like in the blank, there's an element of surprise, there's an element of something unexpected. So that's a lovely open feeling, in that you don't have to have the control and the details down to the finest you know, point. It's a knowable space, it's a blank space, it's more open than that. And that you are very much supported and surrounded by love. There's lots of love and care here for you. And just in that, I think that in itself is a beautiful energy to take in, to know that I am protected, and to know that, you know, I don't need to be controlling or managing or in charge of everything, or everything only happens if I say it, you know. There's much more of a space of being held and being supported and being encouraged, and lots and lots of love around here. And so within that space, energy, be mindful of presence and patience, because it's not necessarily saying that you're going to be here forever, or this is going to be like this for the whole week. All this message is saying is acknowledge this space, bring it into your day, use it. There's power in it. And so it's a powerful energy that perhaps bears many answers for you, but be patient. Let's it unfold. Allow yourself to get the whole story, because if there was an element of desperation and pressiness, you know, in the fear part, even if it's only for a couple of minutes a day, allow yourself to be in the space where you're protected and where you're held. So it's the opposite energy of my survival is threatened, or we're under threat. Yeah. But it also feels like anything that does come up that is challenging, this energy also helps it to resolve quicker. You know, as much as it's a blank energy, it also feels like a very clear, very peaceful, very protective, and very, I wanted to say sorted energy. Like, although I was saying, like, don't worry if you don't know the details, it does feel very equipped and resourceful. It doesn't feel empty. Okay, mums, let's see if there's any. Let's have a look at which energy points, which chakra you may be working with this energy in. Though it does feel so holistic. It does feel like you're the all of you, you know. And there's a lovely flavor of you in here. So let's see, this one feels. Okay, so it's our sacral chakra. It's the second chakra. It's the home of our one-on-one relationships and our actual home, family, love, blessing, harmonious relationships. It's our life force. It's our creativity. It's our abundance. It's our new ideas. And it's beautiful that there's a space for us and our unique energy, and then there's also the elements of surprise from the universe, but also the message of saying, you know, connect in with you and the flavor of you. And, you know, if you do have plans and new ideas that are quite developed, make sure that they include you in a satisfying way, and not just serve a means to an end. Know that you're very loved and very supported and very creative. I mean, it feels like there's something quite beautiful in your ideas and in this newness of you. And you know, I'm loving the protective energy, like the cushioning I can feel around this pile. So thank you so much for allowing me to do this reading for you, and to share these messages. I do post every Tuesday and Thursday the mother and child card readings, where we look into situations or dynamics in your relationship with your child. So look out for those. If anything resonated with you, please feel free to share it in the comments. And yeah, wishing you an absolutely beautiful week, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye, mums.